You are muted. You can mute or unmute yourself by pressing *6.
Are you going to let the other ones in?
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
I think we're ready, Mayor.
Ready? Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the December 8th Town Council meeting for Beach Mountain. I need a motion to adopt the agenda.
So move.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have a proposed for a public hearing to an application for utility payments. I need a motion.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
The host would like you to unmute your microphone. You can press *6 to
Ignore that.
unmute. The host would like you to unmute your microphone. You can press *6 to unmute.
Public comments. Tamara is going to, our town clerk is going to read a statement.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. The public notice for the public hearing for the proposed ordinance to set forth the application and collection procedures of utility payments were advertised in the Watauga Democrat, the Avery Journal, and the Mountain Times. Just to note that that was advertised for 2 consecutive weeks as pursuant to the general statute, not more than 25 days, not less than 10. And during that time, no public hearing comments have been received, nor any general public comments for the public comment portion of today's town council meeting were received.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor, if I could interrupt, would you open a public hearing and then close it on
Yeah.
this ordinance, please? Thank you.
Okay, I need a motion to open a public hearing.
So, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now I need a motion to close public hearing.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you.
no problem. Okay, I need a motion for the consent agenda.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So be it. All right. We're doing an amendment to the budget fee schedule. I need a motion.
Motion.
In favor? I need a
Second. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. A budget amendment, town council and budget and boards committee meeting calendar date for the 2021 and 22 budget calendar.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Move.
Mayor, could I interrupt again and ask the council to just take a look at that schedule for a minute in relation to the budget workshop? It is scheduled for the end of
29th of January.
It is scheduled for January 28th and 29th. It has similar dates as last year. I'd like to ask if that's okay with you with the way we're meeting, or would you like me to put that off into February, say around the middle of February?
No.
No? And do you still want 2 days, or would you like to do 1 day?
I think we can do 1 day. We did
Like we
last
did
year.
last year?
We did last year 1 day. Nobody had a problem with 1 day. Everybody agree with that?
Yeah.
So
I'd be fine with leaving 2
Y'all
days.
y'all
just in
agree with
case.
it? But we were able to get everything done in 1 day.
Well, I'll schedule it for 2. Mr. Chris May, who facilitated last year, is that acceptable to the council? I'll engage him again for the
Yes.
same process.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
But I want to get it done in January. I don't want to keep pushing things
Very good.
forward. We don't know what's on the horizon, so we might as well get it done.
We don't.
All right. New business, water treatment budget amendment, $42,000. That's just an adjustment. Everybody seen the adjustment?
Yes.
Yes.
All in favor? Well, I need a motion first, sorry.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So be it. Okay. Okay, I need a ordinance establish priority for utility bill payments pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 1600A312. I need a motion.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, is there any discussion, anything? I didn't ask, but.
I was reading through on the way it was listed, and I was wondering if there's a possibility for the public to kind of understand the tiers on this and just very quick and dirty.
Okay, well, the purpose of this ordinance was to delineate exactly how when a customer makes a payment, how we apply those partial payments. In the past, we've been unable to collect our fines and fees. People just didn't pay them, but yet they paid their water bills. So this ordinance allows us with this structure to designate where the first dollar goes. And it's all utility, sanitation, wastewater, and water. And it allows us to collect for our fines and fees before the regular water usage. For anybody who doesn't have a fine or a fee, it's not going to affect. But this allows the town then to legally apply that first dollar of payment to those outstanding fines or fees first.
Okay, great, thank you.
Anybody else, any comment, any questions? We good? Okay, great. Well, town manager and staff report.
Now, let me first,
Call for a vote on that, sir.
Okay, I need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
all right, on the staff reports, I want to bring attention to the financial reports. We're at 33.33% as our benchmark. We've begun collecting a substantial amount of taxes. You'll see that in the revenue section. Again, our expenditures, total of all departments are at 41.19%. Similar to last month, it exceeds the benchmark, but we're getting closer as we move forward. As you recall, last month I told you that we have a number of expenditures early on in the year that skew that figure. So that 41.19% against the benchmark of 33.33 is coming in line. Our departments that are over is, again, the fire department, and that's due to the North Carolina grant. That will come in line. Our planning, they did the final payment of the side path, the Greenway, as well as the recreation, which did Shane Park. What we'll do, so that these numbers make more sense, is further on in the year, we'll do a budget adjustment that will reflect those two projects, so that we can move them from the department into the project line item, and then you'll have a better idea of how the departments are actually doing. Our wastewater and sewer and sanitation fund the revenues exceed expenses, and we're exceeding our revenue on the benchmark, so we should be good there. Any other questions on finance? Let me move on to manager's comments. COVID-19 update. The state restrictions increased on the 25th of November, requiring face coverings in indoor as well as outdoor. And I thank everyone for being here today, socially distanced and wearing face covering. Today, the governor again modified his order effective this Friday on the 11th. He's mandated a stay-at-home order from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. and alcohol sales must stop at 9. I don't have a copy of that executive order, and in the past, I get my information from the TV, and then I have to wait for the executive order to be written and sent to me so that I can actually figure out what he said. So as we go forward, we'll adjust our policies in the town to comply with that. I did do a policy update on the 25th to all employees. We've changed how we're working. We did have a substantial impact of COVID in our workforce. We had a substantial reduction in available personnel, either because of COVID infections or people who were exposed that we had to quarantine. So what we did is we focused on essential mission critical functions only for the last 10 days. That's been public safety, water and sewer, sanitation, roadways, which is snow and ice removal, and everything else has taken a back seat. I've had to reassign supervisors, department heads, and other department personnel to cover those essential functions, and we're monitoring that on a day-to-day basis on our workforce and who's able to work and to do what jobs. We've continued to cancel all boards and committee meetings, and we're providing Zoom remote for those committees if they so choose. The TDA is doing one tomorrow. Of note, and I told you this last month and we're continuing on, the quasi-judicial board, the Board of Adjustment, has one case pending, and we haven't been able to hear it because that doesn't lend itself to a remote meeting. So all the parties have been notified. They're not really happy, but we really don't have an answer for that just yet, and it appears it's getting a little bit more difficult. So that one board, because it's quasi-judicial, we've chosen not to schedule that as we go forward. On the sledding hill, that's become an issue. Obviously, with the new mandate on the 25th of November, masks are required in all outdoor gatherings when there's 2 people or more. So we're requiring masks on the sledding hill. There is a 50-person limit for that outdoor gathering at the sledding hill. We've put substantial signage in place. We've trained the staff, my limited staff that I have available. We're putting up barricades. We're limiting access to the sledding hill so that there's predominantly one way in and one way out so we can have some control. It's going to be difficult going forward to manage that sledding hill at those requirements. So what we've done is we put a plan together to open a second sledding hill, not to increase our number of sledders, but to spread the sledders out as we approach the holiday week of Christmas, where we usually have our most people that are using the sledding hill. And the proposal that we put in place is to open a second sledding hill behind the brick oven. We have some land where I put some dirt over the summer from Public Works. The 2 landowners adjacent to us have signed a lease allowing the town to use that property for a second sledding hill. I went to the TDA because I don't have funds to do anything over there in this budget. The TDA is committed funding for the infrastructure and to build and make this happen. And we put our electronic billboards, our signs, we moved them to both areas, and we directed that there's a second hill and that there's 50-person maximum and there's masks required. And substantial signage and banners have been ordered, and they'll be here tomorrow. Thursday, we'll complete building the second sledding hill. We've got some electrical, some temporary water to put in place. We're going to use the old snow gun as well as the new one back and forth. Little technical issues. So that is the plan, to spread the people out. We're still, I think, going to exceed our capacity, and then we'll have to, with signage and some sort of educational programs, we'll manage that as best we can. If the weather cooperates, I think we'll be able to get through this. I reached out to the resort, met with Ryan Costin on 2 occasions on this issue. There was a lot of rumors. He was concerned that we were adding additional capacity for more people. The position of the resort has been and continues to be that the town is competing with them with the sledding hill, and I see his point. I offered to put up some signage 1.5 miles down the road in this direction, there was tubing and sledding, or tubing and ice skating and skiing, as well as some other businesses. We haven't agreed to that yet, and if we do, then I'll have the TDA fund that. But I did want to let you know that the pushback that I've received has been from the resort. It's not a new position, it's the same position that I heard from him last year. I appreciate that. I appreciate him sharing that with me. I wanted to make sure you knew that our biggest taxpayer and employer in the town has an issue with the town having a sledding hill, and he was under the impression that we were expanding, purchasing more equipment, guns, snow guns. And when I got that all straightened out, we just agreed to disagree. Had a very good conversation. I met again with him this morning on a different issue and asked what the town could do to help him in his business, and we agreed to keep in touch. So I did want to let you know about that. I intend to try to make snow on this second sledding hill the end of this week when the weather changes, unless you tell me not to follow this plan. I do have the risk manager visiting us Thursday morning from the league insurance that insures us for our sledding hill, coming over to take a look to make sure that we're covered, and that all the liability insurance is in place and we're complying with whatever requirements that they want.
Chief, if I can ask, what are we doing with the snow gun? Are we fixing the old one? And then my second question is staffing.
Okay, the old gun works. It works at limited capacity. It does not have the high pressure pump. I got a quote to put in a pump. It's far more than the gun is worth, and I chose not to do that. So we're going to operate it on limited capacity.
Yes, sir.
Is that going to be fenced in?
No,
Okay.
it'll be hay bales, and we have some blue bumper cushions from another project that we're going to use at the end. That particular hill is going to have less change in elevation. It will be wider and longer so that we can accommodate the people we're trying to move from the little sledding hill.
And it will be attended?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. We'll put some, I don't think I mentioned it, some porta potties over there. We will not have a warming hut for the attendant. This is to get us by through this winter and this COVID pandemic. On staff, I'm going to use existing staff. We are advertising for sledding hill attendants. We were unable to have any applicants at the $10 rate. Well, I take that back. We had two, and it didn't come to fruition. So I've authorized that to go to $12 per hour. And we're advertising now. I saw it today on Nextdoor, and the clerk has got that out there, and hopefully we'll be picking up some people. So to answer your question, we're going to use existing staff with the existing new positions that we have in the budget for the sledding hill. And if I find that we're short, I intend to go to the TDA and ask for some support for additional staffing and funding to cover that shortfall.
Sure.
Chief, I have a question.
Go ahead.
The 50 capacity at each area, is that 50 total parents, children, bodies in that set area?
Hard to say. You can't have a gathering of more than 50 people. If you separate those groups by 6 or 10 feet, you could arguably, under the governor's order, have another group of 50. I don't think that's the intent. But I think that's what we're going to shoot for, is groups of 50 at a time at each sledding hill. It doubles our capacity.
Right.
I think it will be at times difficult to manage that number, but with the second sledding hill, we've got far more area to spread people out. And other than masks and social distancing, those are the two requirements that seem to have the most impact. So that's what we're trying to do, is open the space up and separate people.
Is the
Chief.
rec department going to enforce the masks outside?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, to an extent. The police department has been meeting with, we've been meeting with police and rec to figure out what we do when certain situations occur. We've been successful just asking people, reminding them. Some people from other states aren't aware of the requirement when they travel here, and so when we tell them what the requirement is, all but one has been very happy to oblige. So we've got more signage being put up. I think it's an educational piece. To answer your question, we'll be the ones that have to enforce it.
And then the next question is, how many men do we have or women on trail maintenance during this spring, summer, and fall? And are we able to use the trail maintenance people as attendants for both sledding hills?
We have 3, and yes,
What do they do during winter?
they do sledding hill.
Okay, so
Mr.
they're already
McNay,
allocated.
Sean McNay runs that crew
Gotcha.
that does trail maintenance, and he
Mhm.
builds the kiosks in his group.
Okay,
He's our chief snowmaker.
sure.
Ethan, the guy with the big
Yep.
beard, he's the other snowmaker. So yeah, they transition from trails into, it's the same people, into running the sledding.
Yes, sir.
If the sledders and their families, if they're not willing to comply to wearing a mask after they've been asked to, what measures or steps will they take? Will they call PD? Will they?
They'll be asked to leave. And if they refuse to leave, the sledding hill attendant's not going to, get into an altercation.
Sure.
The police department will be called, and a police officer will go over and ask them to either put on a mask or leave. We've had one instance already on the small sledding hill, and that was the resolution. The gentleman left.
Okay. Thank you.
Any more on sledding hill 2?
Do our actions have any repercussions on any other private businesses up here?
I'm not sure. I think it'll be positive, if that's, you mean negative repercussions?
Yes, sir.
I'm not aware of any,
Okay.
other than the resort. I wanted you to know about that. I
Yeah.
wanted to be very transparent about the resort. I think the sledding hill provides a tremendous economic impact to the town and the businesses. There's a debate, but we're gonna talk about my opinion. I think there's a whole lot of people on that sledding hill that come up here to sled, buy a sled, eat. Some people must stay, a lot do not. I think they drive up, use the sledding hill. Anecdotally, when I'm over there on medical calls, patching up grandma, I noticed that an awful lot of the people sledding have the ski resort ski pass on their jacket. So they've been there and purchased it, maybe not that day, maybe it's another day, I don't know. But I think, personally, I think that sledding hill is a tremendous economic impact to the town. Now, I will tell you personally that I hate the thing. I spend an awful lot of time over there with the fire department, patching people up, but I understand the importance to the town. And I think we've got a solution. I'd like to be able to try and adjust going forward, and if we need to make adjustments, we certainly will.
Yes, sir.
But the sledding hill's been used for kids,
Supposed to.
kids 10 years old and
Under
under.
12.
Or 12, so,
Yeah,
I mean,
supposed to.
I mean,
I patch up very few children over there. It's usually grandma that was standing there and got run into,
yeah.
watching the kids sled. But it is for the kids. It is free. We were asked, well, why don't you charge for it? There's an issue with the insurance and
The liability.
the liability, the same issue we had at the lake with, renting, charging for boats and things like that. So I think we have a good model. I'd like the opportunity to give it a shot and see what we can do. I think the business community deserves us to help them and make this work if we can. Okay, moving on. Public Works construction, we're on schedule, so to speak. We're weather tight. The heating is being connected this week. The fence between Public Works and the Pinnacle is complete. I have not heard any negative from the Pinnacle. I've heard 2 comments that were positive, but that fence that we added to buffer the complex is up, and you might want to take a look at it.
I have a question on the public building,
Yes.
the compactors. The control panel is sitting about 2 feet away from the compactor.
The control panel is next to the compactor head, yes.
What's happening is that it's getting weathered. I mean, the other day I went by and it was covered in snow. And my concern is that thing is gonna get weather beaten before we even get a chance to use it.
Let me take a look at that. We'll figure a way to protect it.
Because if you look at the building, the way, personally, I think they shouldn't build the frame until they put the compactors in. Because when you look at it, the building is sitting here and the controllers are almost outside it.
Correct.
With the wind blowing this way, it's getting wet, snow. I know what's gonna happen. All the contactors are gonna get rusted. Everything's gonna happen. It'll short out, and the first thing we're gonna hear,
They don't work.
so either we put a screen or some kind of sheet to block it, you know, the side,
Right.
so that when the wind's blowing, that it's not blowing right onto it.
Let me take a look at that, Mayor. We'll come up with a solution to protect the control panel from the weather.
Okay.
Is that it on Public Works? The sewer lift station down at Shane Park, Lake Buckeye is completed. The fence went up yesterday. The building looks much better. You might, if you get a chance, drive that by there and take a look. The convenience center, the single-use passes that you implemented last month seem to be working well. There was a slow start, but we've collected 50. We've sold more than 50, but 50 times of pass has been used in the last 30 days. So I think that's pretty good. I mean, I really didn't understand how many were going to be used in a period, but as we go into the winter rental season, I think that's going to pick up. Fred's has been selling more than we have because they're doing it on the weekends and holidays, and people are showing up at the center after hours, and the guys are saying you can get a pass at Fred's. So that seems to be working. We'll need another month or two to see how that goes. Buckeye Rec Center, we had a fire there on the 20th of November. There was an electrical short in a piece of equipment that was charging. Substantial damage, minor from the fire, so to speak, but the sprinkler system went off, extinguished the fire, and the water damage was substantial. Insurance, the league insurance that we use, the adjuster has been in contact with us. We're stripping out the building, we're replacing floors and some drywall. Everything should be covered other than the deductible. The building opened the next day, so we didn't lose any usage of the building. And I don't have a total dollar figure yet until I get an estimate from the insurance adjuster. Our services planning group has continued to meet each week. We'll have a report for you at the February meeting. AMPS, which was the medical insurer of 2 years ago, if you recall, you authorized me to hire John Pendergrass to negotiate some of those outstanding bills. He's sent me a request. He's got a 50% offer of billing charges, which amounts to $14,286.70. We're waiting to hear if that's accepted. I've authorized him to offer that settlement. That would be the second one of our claims that we have outstanding. It's been almost a year. If that gets accepted or we go into further negotiations, I'll report that to you. Our annual audit is complete. We've sent it to the LGC. I've scheduled a presentation to you by the auditor next meeting, January 12th. I was impressed with the audit compared to what I had last year. So hopefully, the bottom line is that everything looks really good. There's no deficiencies noted. We'll wait till the LGC blesses it, and then I'll have the auditor present it to you next meeting. We've also completed our funding debt model. If you recall, I told you we were going to hire a consultant to look at our long-term debt and how to project our funding going forward. That is complete, and I'll also have a presentation in January for you on that. I've got the budget retreat. The town's 40th birthday is May 1st of 2021. There's a planning group together, been put together, and they've been meeting to have a year-long 40th anniversary celebration. They've scheduled a covered dish at Buckeye May 1st, so save the date, assuming we can meet. And Marissa at Buckeye Rec is the contact if you would like to get involved or if anybody in the public would like to get involved. But that'll be the town's 40th birthday, May 1st. The TDA report, I should have gone through that while I was looking in the book, but on the TDA report in your packet, I'd like you to direct attention to the last paragraph about the local business community. Well, first, we've added a section on economic development at the request of the mayor to tell you a little bit about what we're doing for economic development, and as we progress, that report will be in more detail. But that last paragraph in that economic development, it really says a lot about Beach Mountain business and community. The fact that, and I won't read the whole thing, but none of the over 50 businesses on Beach Mountain closed permanently due to the pandemic. And that was due to their ability to innovate, be flexible. Those of you that run a business on the mountain, you know what you've had to do to make it work. The TDA and the Economic Development Director has been able to get loans out to people, paycheck protection in the beginning, and it's a testament to our town and our business community that we've been able to maintain throughout this pandemic. So what I have from this report is, let's support our local businesses. Let's make sure that our people are supporting our local businesses, particularly during the holiday season. The Christmas parade is still scheduled for the 23rd at 4 p.m. If someone is interested in getting a vehicle or a float in the parade, they need to contact Buckeye Rec. We've got some banners up, and it's on websites and things like that. And Santa Claus is going to ride on a fire truck. And other than that, Mayor and Council, I want to wish everybody here and anyone listening a very Merry Christmas and a Happy Hanukkah. It's been a trying year, and we're looking forward to 2021. So, Mayor, that's my report.
All right, just the one thing about the TDA, I've been after them for about the last 3 years to get some signage down at the Outlook, letting know there's more businesses down at the end of the road. And that's never really happened. Because we've got restaurants down there, we've got the ski rental, we got Fraser's when they're open. And
An informational sign like we talked about at the budget retreat, that type of information, directional sign? Got it. We'll take care of it.
do you want to say
Yeah, no, he said, I tried to bring it up at the budget retreat because I think it's important to have.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think,
we talked about it last year.
Yeah.
and I think it's something that end of the town, people got to know that they're, everybody thinks it's up here, but it's not only
No,
up here.
continue.
It continues.
Right.
Yes, sir.
And so, there's a place that rents skis, there's obviously the resort, there's the restaurants down there, there's Poppy's down there. I mean, I'm sure they can use some traffic down there. I bet you, if you took a survey, I bet you a lot of people don't even know it's there.
For sure.
But I think maybe, Mayor, then that will coincide with what I talked to Mr. Costin about, putting something up
Right.
here to say that, 1.5 miles down is the.
Well, there is a
skating
little
to
sign there that says ski resort.
Well, I'm talking about,
Yeah,
something more
exactly.
definitive.
Exactly.
So maybe we can put multiple up to
Yeah.
direct people down there. I got it.
All right. Town council comments? Aaron, you want to start?
I'm happy with the direction we're going, and I think we're moving in the right direction under the circumstances with COVID. It's definitely been challenging, but, I think we're good.
Okay. Mr. Ricchetti?
I just had a question on the drawdown well on Pinnacle and the water quality of,
The drilling.
We haven't got the drawdown done. So we don't know, it will be the 24-hour drawdown first and then the water quality.
Sure.
That has not been done.
Okay.
And we haven't started the third well.
Yes, sir.
There's a surveying issue to make sure that we're exactly in the right
Yeah.
spot. And it turned out that we weren't sure, so I had it resurveyed.
Yes, sir. Gotcha.
Mr. Abernathy?
Hats off to Public Works for doing a fine job keeping our roads in good shape during the past few snows we've had.
Thank you. I'll pass that word along to you.
Yep.
Thank you. I'll pass the word along. I want you to know that the normal people plowing and salting weren't doing it. We had other people, we had sanitation people, we had folks that turn wrenches and change oil, plowing and sanding and salting, so.
They've done a great job.
The fact that you noticed, they're gonna love that, so I'll let them know.
Well, I sent Daniel an email, and sounds like you indirectly have been cross-training.
Well, Matthew was driving the truck doing the plowing.
Yes. And they're hauling garbage and collecting tickets at the recycling. It's been a difficult 14 days.
Kelly?
I just want to say congratulations to Beach Mountain Resort for a successful opening weekend, and to Ski Patrol for doing a great job with the mask mandate and keeping everybody legal. And that's it.
Okay, I have a few things. Needless to say, it's been an interesting year with the COVID, obviously, we had to work around that. New town manager that had to get into the fire line before he was ready, plus all the, with all the construction we've been doing. The town council was very aggressive on a budget. We did a very aggressive budget, which was great because it's very noticeable. And the fact that everybody on the council actually agreed with the budget. We had discussions, but we all agreed to what it should be like, which is great. I mean, we discussed, we got it done, and then we threw it into a town manager's lap for to handle it, which has got a few more gray hairs. We have a record. We've had 5 ribbon cuttings this year. I don't think the town has ever had 5 ribbon cuttings in its 40 years of existence. So that's a plus. Obviously, the Public Works building is really coming around great. I go by there at least 2 or 3 times a week. It was funny watching them put mulch down the other day when it was snowing. And then they put trees down, and then the trees ended up on the ground. So that was interesting. And I did go through Pinnacle to see the fence from the other side. And it does look good on the other side. I think they should be happy with it. So the fact that we didn't get any complaints about it is it's great for what we've done. And then the only other thing I have is obviously we wish everybody happy holidays and Christmas and New Year's. We won't be meeting until the first of the year. And of course, to our Jewish friends, happy Hanukkah. That's all I've got. All right. I need a motion to go into closed session, attorney-client matters.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
If we do that in here, we gotta go.
You're being broadcast. We need to go in my
Okay.
office.
You can say, following closed session, there's no action taken by the council, and next time we motion to adjourn.
Okay, I need a motion to go back in session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. In regards to the closed session, no action has been taken. That's all you need? And
Yes, sir, unless the council has other business, a motion to adjourn would be in order.
I know you guys want to stay later because it's only 5 o'clock. Are you in a hurry?
No, sir.
I need a motion to close,
Motion.
terminate.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Have a great holiday, everybody.
Thank you. Everybody did the same.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. 2021.
We're gonna see each other at the parade, are we not?
Yeah.
We have a float for the elected officials to
I've got a
ride.
boatload of